but it's the Halloween special is really good.
Goes Q again.
Oh, did I die again? God damn it.
He's back.
Ugh.
Oh, I know the last game I bought. Cyberpunk.
Oh, well, there.
That was the last game I bought. I have
God damn it.
I have 18 hours in Cyberpunk. That's sad. I need to go back and play it more. I haven't played it since they fixed it though. To be fair, that 18 hours is in when the game was broken. So that's pretty good, I would say. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I guess you could make the argument for it, but I feel like you can make more money doing free to play than selling, anyways.
Yeah.
Plus, if you do free to play, you pretty much don't run into the problem that Call of Duty did, or problem, I guess, controversial decision to release a disc with 70 megabytes of data on it. If you're free to play, you're not even going to release discs. You're going to just say download it, which is what Call of Duty should have done anyways.
Yep.
But they probably felt like, oh, well, we need a physical presence out there. We have to release a disc.
Luckily, that's slowly going away. And
No,
I
it's
mean,
it's been going away for years and getting less and less. I don't
yeah.
know anybody that buys discs anymore. The last disc I bought was GTA 5 for the fourth time purchasing it. But it was only
Uh,
because it was like 18 bucks at Walmart.
I think the last disc that I bought was Destiny. I don't
The
have it.
first one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's gone away. Internet's gone fast enough. Unless you're on Q's Walmart Wi-Fi. Internet's gotten fast enough that
So
you can
done with the
download
internet.
games so fast. Even when they're freaking massive, like 180 gigs.
Oh, I'm so done with the internet. I'm so frustrated.
Yeah, I hope your buddy can fix it tomorrow. That'd be great.
Yeah, because I don't want another episode like this. It's now been the last 3 episodes have been like this, and I'm so tired
Yeah,
of it. You know, and
it'd be great for Wednesdays too, doing D&D. We don't go, oh, Q's frozen. Hold on.
yeah,
In the middle of you telling us like an important part of the story or something,
yep,
and you're like, and the dragon and the. Well, we might as well do cream of the week.
yep, may as well.
We don't want to go as long as we did on our last. Well, our last one didn't go that long, but the one before that we did like almost at 3 hours.
No, no. What's
My
your
cream of the week. Speaking about cars and car technology and all of that, imagine telling yourself as a kid. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love remote control cars.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a boy thing. I don't know a single man, boy of any age that doesn't like remote control cars.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
fun as fuck driving remote control cars. And I remember a lot of my neighbors, like the big thing back then, around the time I started to get like my own money from like chores and stuff and buying my own stuff. I remember the big thing back then was gas. Gas, the little nitro powered,
Mm-hmm.
those were the expensive one. They're like $400.
And they
They're fast as
scream.
fuck. They sound real cool. They scream, and that was the cool shit. I remember I was into that, and then like a few years later, I got like an actual job, and I was still really into remote control cars. I found like a little like at the hobby shop. I learned that they had like a track, and I took my Radio Shack
Mm-hmm.
RC car that I had out there and got like third place because they put me in the group of hobby class where like we're not real. They're just like you bought it at Walmart, so you're with those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
I got third out of four, and I remember I had an all wheel drive truck that had massive wheels, like the size of this fucking microphone cover here, like the size of my face, and it's all wheel drive. While I was racing, the rear wheel drive went out, so I was just front wheel drive, and I still got third.
Nice.
It was a joke, but yeah, I remember around that time, I'm like, I'm gonna spend some actual money and get a good one,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got a really good one. And I had learned at that time that battery technology had come such a long way, and motor technology had come such a long way that freaking Fred left. I was like, what the fuck? The motor, everything electrical had come so far that they were actually way faster, way more powerful than uh, gas. Like not even close. They're torque to just instant power. And I was like, holy fuck. Like I spent some money and I built like a crazy Emax with a monstrous motor. My little remote control car can go like 60 miles an hour. My truck, it 90% of it is metal. I had to get drive shafts that were metal because it was so powerful. It had plastic drive shafts at first, and it would just twist and break them immediately, like the second you hit the throttle.
Hmm.
So I slowly, for years, I was spending all my money, and this was around the time I was first with my wife, and I ended up spending in those first few years like maybe $1,200 on a remote control truck that had metal everything. Either it was aluminum or it was steel. Other than like the plastic shell of the thing and the rubber wheels, every single thing on that thing was fucking aluminum or steel. And I still have it. I I'll never sell it. I have too much invested into it. But it's fast as fuck. It goes like 60 miles an hour, like real actual miles per hour, not scale miles per hour. Like I remember one time I was going like 40 with it across like a field, and there was a power bottle that somebody must have just like chucked into that field, and I hit it going like 40, and the power bottle and my truck just flew up into the air and just tumbled like 100 times, like just kept going. I'm like, and the whole time I'm just watching it, thinking about all that money. Just
Yep. Well, it's the same thing like with those. I get a bunch of videos on TikTok about people that do the remote controlled airplanes,
yeah,
and
you
it's
just crash it and it's gone. You
yeah,
don't get anything left.
yeah, and it's crashed, and they're like, well, there's $3,000 down the drain.
Yep,
Oh
that was
man,
fun.
I just dropped $3,000 and I just got it, and it goes to take off and it goes up in the air, back down and crashes.
Yep, back down.
And I'm like,
I saw that at
no,
an air show.
oh,
They were doing remote control car, and he had a jet one,
mm,
and it went and immediately crashed. And literally, the announcer on the screen was like, "Well, that was fun, spending $2,000. Who's next?" Yeah, so I was way into, and I remember some of the other hobby, like the older guys back then, when I would go to the races and stuff with my electric one, they'd be like, "Why don't you get gas?" I'm like, "Bro, the power I get out of this thing is so much beyond what you have. Sure, yours might sound cool because there's no sound coming out of mine. It's silent, but mine is so much faster and more powerful than yours. It's not even close." And like, but I say all that to say that actual real life, real size car technology has caught up to that same concept now, where electric vehicles are now taking advantage of that same thing, where they instantly have full amount of torque, full amount of power. I know everyone knows what a Tesla is and has seen how fast and fucking ridiculous those things are, where you instantly just get full torque and you can go 0 to 60 in, what does a Tesla go like, in 2.6 seconds or some fucking shit?
something like that. We have to ask Evan.
0 to 60 Tesla time, something like that. But anyways, along the same lines of NASCAR and all that stuff, there's racing, electric racing leagues now, and I guess on one hand they're not quite as fun because like with the remote control cars, the electric vehicles don't make noise, so
Yeah,
that's like their noise. They kind
Na-
of whine along.
NASCAR was talking about starting in 2025 an electric Cup series, an electric series, not
Yeah,
not to replace the big Sunday race, but they're going to be starting an electric series,
yeah.
and
But soon they're gonna all be electric. But
and that's what people were complaining about. It's like, oh, you're not going to have the sounds of NASCAR, and I'm like,
you hear it whiz by. You
yeah,
still have the crashes and shit. And they'll probably be going faster, honestly.
that was my thought. They'd be faster and it'd be a lot more. I mean, the road races will be an absolute blast to watch because
Yeah,
watching them scream out of the turns and come go into the turn doing 60 miles an hour, and then before it gets to the next turn, it's doing like 110.
yeah. They're the how fucking fast they are is insane. Like you should look up some of the rally cars. They're
Mm.
fucking insane. Uh, but I say all that to come all the way back around to my cream of the week, which is the new. Uh, do you know Ken Block, right?
We've talked about them, yeah,
I feel like you'd be hard pressed to not know
yeah.
who Ken Block is at this point, especially when they released these viral videos. Well, they just released their newest one, his newest Gymkhana, and it's in an electric Audi. rally car,
Oh man.
and I every one of his videos he releases. If you haven't seen any of them yet, just type in on YouTube like Ken Block or Jim Kana or Hoonigan, and go back like 7 years, or go back like 10 years to like one of the first Jim Kanas, and watch it and just be in awe, and then go through them and see his every year. You're like, he can't top that last video. And then he does. And then you're like, all right, well, they can't top that one. They rented out half the fucking Chicago city and shut down all the streets, and he was fucking doing donuts on the highway. They can't top that video. And then they do. And you're like, what the fuck? So this one, I can't even imagine the astronomical costs of it. They shut down the Vegas Strip.
Wow.
he
Wow.
was he was doing donuts and fucking all this shit in Las Vegas, and that you're like, oh my god. And I guess spoiler alert, I'm gonna tell you the thing that he did that I was like, he drives into a casino and does donuts in the front like lobby area of a casino, like with a bunch of people like in the shot. They're like in the back like gambling, and they're like cheering him on. I can't remember the name of the particular casino that let him do that crazy fucking shit. But
That's
he
awesome.
could only do that because it's an electric vehicle.
Right.
But it's absolutely insane. There's a point where he does a fucking 360 going about 120 miles an hour down the Las Vegas Strip. I think he like started the 360 going like 112 or some shit, like absolutely insane. And like I said, I every time I think he can't possibly top the insane shit that he's already done. And then he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna shut down fucking Vegas and, and do this." The editing and everything in it is so amazing. Other than like, there's one shot when they drive in front of a casino, you see some people outside, and then the shot where he's in the casino like lobby, you see a few people. Other than that, like down the strip and like all the shots, you don't see people. You don't see all the Vegas stuff going on in the background.
Hmm.
Like for the most part, like it's absolutely insane. I can't imagine how much money they spent. I can't imagine the production and the amount of time that went into it. He said because the electric vehicle is so fucking torquey and fast, they went through the most amount of tires they've ever gone through doing one of these things. Like he was just shredding through rubber.
That'd be fun as
And then
shit.
at the very end, back on the strip under that big like arch sign that says Las Vegas, he did like a 2 minute like 360, just like
Jeez. That's
it's
awesome.
insane. But yeah, that's my cream of the week. If you haven't seen any of them, go watch any of them. They're all fucking amazing. But if you want to just see the one I'm talking about, you can look up Electric Kana and see him in Vegas spend, I can't even imagine how many millions to fucking make this video.
Well, my cream of the week is nowhere near that fun. But I will say that I just bought a 4K television and I'm now running 4K in my gaming, and I'm going to do a review of it later once I get some more time playing.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm I'm impressed with the graphics because the graphics are noticeably and considerably better.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm going to say that I feel like we've reached a point where the graphics are getting so good that it's any leaps forward are just going to be,
They're so minimal.
yeah, it's so minimal. I mean, I went from 1080i to 4K, and on paper that's a big jump. And I mean, yeah, it's noticeable, but I only feel like it's like maybe 15% better, if that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
So, but that's my cream of the week.
It depends on the game you play. It depends on a lot of stuff. Some games, their engine literally it won't really take that much advantage of all that extra
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I've only
Like
played.
you won't notice playing Halo Infinite at 1080 versus 4. I mean, you will, but it'll be so
Yes.
minimal.
Well, and that's the reason why I want to give it some time before I make my official conclusion. because I played World of Warships on it, which did you I mean it's optimized for 4K. That's one of their selling points
Yeah.
for the game, and so you can see, the individual breaks in the water, like as your ship is sailing, you can see the water splashing against the hull and stuff like that, and which is really nice and looks cool. Um, then when we were playing Apex last night, I've actually had to I had to make some changes to my display settings because the the maps were so big and you could see so far across the map. It wasn't really I couldn't really tell the difference between what was what was map and what was an actual person. So
Oh, yeah.
I made some field of view changes and it got a lot better. And and like I said, that's why I started to play a little better towards the end. So like I could see I could hit longer shots.
See what the hell you're shooting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
4K. Um, I'm trying to think when I got this monitor. I don't game at 4K. I've been gaming at 2K for probably like a year and a half. And the reason I game at 2K is I can game at much higher frame rates.
right,
Even on my Xbox Series S, I'm playing at 120 frames a second, but
right.
on 2K. If I go to 4K, I can't get that kind of frame rate. My problem with 4K always was, depending how close you're sitting to your shit, 4K gives you a lot more clarity, but it also kind of pushes everything back. It makes everything smaller.
Yeah, and that's what I was noticing last night.
Yeah, so it takes some time to get used to. You can definitely get used to it. I think we're almost at that point that they've been talking about forever. The same thing with frame rate. Uh, from 30 to 60 is huge. From 60 on up, it's really negligible. It's
I
more
think
of a
it looks
feeling than
I think
really
it
you
looks
seeing it.
bad. I
Yeah.
watching movies and stuff in 60 frames or even 120 frames, it doesn't look.
Well, some movies too are not optimized for it, and depending on your screen or what you're watching it on, it'll fill in the gaps to try and force it to be higher frame rate, and it looks weird.
Yeah, it the only way I can
It's
describe it, it looks forced,
Yeah,
and I
it
don't
doesn't
like it.
look as good in movies as it does for games.
Yeah, I agree.
Movies should be a lower frame rate. Movies should be like 24, maybe 30 at most.
Yeah, I think 24 frames I think is like the standard, or
Yeah,
like
that's
that's
like
what
the
it used
standard.
to
It
be. Yeah,
feels the most natural.
right.
You go smoother than that, the motions and like people moving and like fighting and stuff looks weird.
Yeah,
But then in gaming, it's funny. The same thing. The same frame rates don't feel the same. They feel off and like not smooth. Like go back and play Destiny 1 at 30 frames a second, and then
mm-hmm.
play Destiny 2 at 60 or even 120, and you're like, oh yeah, it's way different.
Yeah,
So it's weird. I guess the feeling is different because you're doing it. You're controlling the movements.
mm-hmm.
You're not just like watching it from a third person view. I don't know. I'm sure there's some science behind it.
Mm.
I have no idea, but yeah, I've for a while now been kind of under the impression that 4K is probably the most you'd ever want to go, but it's also unnecessary.
Yeah, yeah. It's very unnecessary, and
2K 120 is like the perfect sweet spot.
I didn't plan on buying a 4K television. Um, I needed to, I was going to be moving stuff around, um, in the downstairs to kind of make some changes down here. Um,
Yeah,
I wanted to get another TV, and I had a budget of $250, and so I went and I was going to just I was like, okay, I'm going to find something for less than $250 that I wanted uh, no smaller than 42 inches and nothing over 50 inches. So that was literally those were my real only two specs. So like I have a size and I have a price. That's it.
yeah,
So I go over to Walmart and I'm looking at all their stuff, and I get to like their lower model stuff on the far end. That's not the big fucking 130 inch 8K curved bullshit. Um,
yeah,
and they had two TVs that were really in the sweet spot of what I wanted, and one was $210 for a 42-inch um, non 4K, so whatever the next one down is, and then for that was $210, and then for $220 they had a 43-inch Roku smart TV in 4K, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well for an extra $10, I get one more inch for $10, and it's 4K and it's smart, which I don't care about the smart stuff because they're like, oh, it comes with Netflix and Hulu and all this. I'm like, well, I just use my Xbox for that, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Um, but I
No,
was,
I don't use my built-in TV apps and shit. I don't use
yeah.
all that.
So I was like, well, fuck it, let's just see what happens. So I bought it and brought it home last night and set it up, and excuse me, and it's you know it's made by a brand called ONN, and
Yeah, that's I think that's Walmart's
I
brand. I only
I
ever
think
see them at
yeah,
Walmart.
I think it's the Walmart brand. But in all actuality, it's quite nice, and I mean, it's great for a budget TV. I mean, like I said, $220 got you 4K and way more than what I was expecting. Like I
Yeah.
said, I wasn't
Well,
expecting
again,
anything
you're at
like
that
that.
point of diminishing returns.
Yeah,
You could spend $600 to get a TV in that same size and be the top of the top, but would it feel like it's $400 more TV?
yeah,
Not really.
yeah, exactly. And I
It would be
didn't,
better, but not three times the price better.
yeah, I didn't want, nor did I have room for anything massive. And I sit so close to gaming anyway. I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to game on an 80-inch 4K flat screen. Is sitting 4 feet away or 3 feet away, or whatever it is that I sit. So
Yeah.
I'm quite happy with it, and we're gonna.
No.
Uh,
I there's so many variables. What kind of games you play, what you really want.
exactly.
Uh if you play like nothing but like God of War and like pretty games that are optimized for that, you might even want a game at 8K.
Right.
If you have a crazy PC or a Series X or a PS5 that will have capabilities. I don't think it's unlocked on the Xbox yet. It has the capability, but I think they have it locked right now. PS5, I think they just unlocked it, but only for specific things. Yeah, other than that, 4K is good enough. 2K, you can't even get 2K TVs. They don't make them. You can get
Right.
2K monitors, but monitors are built different and they cost more money.
Right. So, but yep, that's my cream of the week. So
Yeah,
moving up in the digital age. Now, if I just get my internet fucking straightened out, I'll be fucking golden.
yeah, you'll finally be in the 21st century with the
Um,
rest of
yeah,
us.
almost there. Well, you wanna wrap it up here?
Yeah, we can go play some Apex.
Yeah.
I had another clip to send you along with that one I already sent you, that cop car.
Mm-hmm.
I have another one from a guy that decided to run from the cops and go really fast. And like he's live streaming him running from the cops, and he like rolls his fucking car. It looks like I can't tell
Oh
because,
man.
and then and then they like pull up, and he's like, oh shit, and he like holding his hands up, and he's like, I'm just gonna turn my live off, and they're like, put your fucking hands up. He's like, I'm just turning my live off. I love you guys, and he like ends his live. He streamed him like getting pulled over, and they're like trying to ask for his shit, and he's like, you all tripping," and he just starts
Oh
like
my
running
god.
from the cops and crashes. Like he's lucky it wasn't work. It looks like I just rewatched it. It looks like he didn't roll it, but he definitely like spun at least a 360, if not more.
They probably did a pit maneuver on him.
Yeah,
That's
it
funny.
looks like he's rolling down like residential streets.
Oh
Like
man, there's
fucking
so many charges.
like where Malcolm in the Middle is, like those
Mm-hmm.
back like nothing but residential little houses and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, we love you guys.
Yep. Love you guys.
Thanks for listening. Get a 4K TV
Yeah.
or don't get a 4K. Watch Ken Block's shit on in 4K on your phone. Okay, bye.
Bye.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Oh, do we ever figure out what we say when we're done?
I usually say bye, Oreo.
Oh yeah, bye, Q.